Today, we're going to talk about when the best time is for you to market to your customers. And this is actually going to help you in a variety of different ways. It's going to help you identify when to post. It's going to help you identify what value you offer your customers. You're going to also learn the most effective ways to get your audience to actually take the plunge and buy from you. So this is going to be a super, super helpful training. Take your time on it. And if you need to go back and listen to it again, I recommend listening to it several times because it's actually it's a very, very powerful training that will change the way you approach your business. So the first thing that I want to start with is saying that when you think about your customers, it's important to recognize, and I know this is true for you, but we want to say it out loud anyway. No one is out there trying to get customers by begging for them, right? No one wants to be like, please, please, please buy my product. Please buy my product. Please buy my product, right? Nobody wants to be that person. Unfortunately, oftentimes when you are posting on social media with constant sales, it can start to look that way, right? It can start to look that way, especially if you don't post anything else. That's a really big, big no-no. If you're not posting anything else, then it looks like all you're doing is asking for sales. You don't want people to buy from you because you're begging them to buy from you. You want people to buy from you because they want to buy from you, because the product that you have, they think it has value. They are excited to get it. You want to change their lives, make their lives better, solve their problem. Whatever it is, there is a solution that is built into your product that is the reason why you started doing what you're doing in the first place. In order for you to effectively market it, you need to know what that is, right? And you need to know when the best time is to insert it into your audience's day. Now, your audience, they're very busy. They're doing a lot of things, right? And they're on social media. And when they're on social media, you are competing with other priorities in their lives. You're competing with them having to, gotta put the phone down because I need to go run and help the kid who just stubbed her toe. Gotta put the phone down, there's someone at the doorbell. Gotta put the phone down, I need to eat breakfast or have my coffee or whatever it is. So in terms of your audience's day-to-day lives and social media, you are competing with their other day-to-day priorities, which means you need to fit in to those areas of their life. Like, you're not necessarily going to be able to get their attention when they're in the middle of putting their kids to bed, because that's special time for them, right? So you've got to know what their other priorities are. Two is you're competing against other people who sell the same product. So if you sell, nail clippers and someone else sells nail clippers, then you're in the same sphere, then you're competing with those other people. If you are in a direct sales company, then you are competing against other people who sell the exact same product from that direct sales company. So your competition is also is people who sell similar or the same products. And then the third thing that you're competing against is puppies and memes and pictures of children and really funny jokes and short videos of Jason Momoa. You are competing against all of those things when it comes to your audience on social media. So it's very easy, I think, for a lot of us to think about, oh my goodness, nobody likes me, but it's not always about that. The reason why people don't engage is not always about people not liking you. Sometimes it's just they have other things going on, and those other things show up in their feed before your stuff does, so they never get to your stuff, right? And so the key is how do you get your stuff higher up in their newsfeed, right? You are not going to get your customer to change the way she lives her day-to-day life before you've met her, right? She's going to be doing whatever it is that she does in a regular day. So you want to know what that kind of looks like. Now, you're not necessarily going to be able to know exactly when everybody does things, but you're going to have a general idea. Like if somebody has kids, they're probably going to be up early in the morning between 6 and 8 to get the kids ready for school, right? Things like that. Your job is to identify convenient spots to slip in, all right? What are those convenient spots to slip in, all right? So we started by talking about the day in the life. So the very first step of what you're going to do is you're going to narrate a day in the life of your customer. In this session, there is a handout for you to download that you can fill out, or you can do it online, either way works, where you basically are going to be describing a day in the life of your customer. Okay? You're going to outline your customer's day. What time does she wake up? What stores does she go to? What does she buy when she's at those stores? What stores do you go to, right? Because she probably goes to the same stores that you used to go to before you found your product. Or what stores do you go to anyway? Like, even if you found your product, you likely still shop at places like Target or Walmart. You probably still go to the grocery store. You probably still buy sunglasses. Where do you go to buy those things, right? What do those places look like? It may not be that she goes every day, but what are those kinds of places? Where does she get her news from, right? Does she watch TV? Does she read the news on Twitter? Like, where does she get her news from? If she's on the internet, does she spend a lot of time on the internet? And what does she do when she's on the internet? Does she play games? Does she chat with her friends? Like, what are some of the things that she's doing when she's there? What kind of websites does she visit? I visit People Magazine and Us Magazine legit every single day. 10 times a day sometimes. I know everything that is happening with every celebrity's life. And the funny part of it is, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I don't really care about celebrity. I just like reading about their lives. I have no idea why. It's super weird, but that's what I do, right? A lot of my audience is likely going to know about some celebrities. They may not necessarily go to Us Magazine or People Magazine every day, but we are going to have some similar crossover there. What kind of activities does she go participate in? Does she like doing escape rooms? Does she walk? Does she jog? Does she exercise? Is she really into Peloton, right? What does she like to do? And what products is she using, right? And I want you to think about it in terms of starting day to day, like from the beginning of the day. So for my target audience, it would be she wakes up at around 5:30 a.m. She showers, she gets dressed, changes the baby's diaper, deals with whatever the young kids are, because a lot of my audience has kids who are probably in the toddler age. It's maybe it's 6:30, maybe 7, maybe dad gets up, maybe the mom comes in to take over for child duty. I don't know. Something happens at around that time to help them. I'm sort of making this up as I go along, right? Then after somebody is taking care of the kids, then she goes and she makes coffee and makes breakfast for the family, puts on her makeup, does that kind of thing. And then we're looking at around at 8:30 right now. She drinks a couple of cups of coffee before leaving, and then she gets on the bus or the train around 8 or 9 o'clock, right? So that's sort of generally kind of what I have for like for an audience example. Okay. Now, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to write this narrative out. I don't want you to worry about it being right or wrong. This is a fictional person that you're designing based off of what you know about yourself and your audience. As you get more and more experienced with target audience, and you do this, as you go through your business, you will refine this a lot more as you'll get to know your audience better. Right now, this is just you creating it. So there is no right, there is no wrong. This is, I want this person to buy from me. This is the person who, if she walked up to me right now, I would be able to sell to her, right? What does that person look like? As long as you tick off 1 or 2 of the things on the list, right? So like, not everyone that I work with likes Marvel, right? That's a big one, right? Likes Marvel. But part of my audience's day is they watch something Marvel related at some point, right? Not all of my audience is going to do that, but that doesn't mean that there are not people in my audience who don't like Marvel. They check off other boxes. They like the Golden Girls instead. That's totally fine. As long as someone checks off a few of those boxes, you start to like create the audience pool, right? Not everybody's going to check off every box. So it's important to let go of that, really let go of it. And anytime you find yourself getting stuck where you're like, oh my God, but this doesn't describe Sandy, this doesn't describe Julie, pull yourself back and remind yourself, I'm not designing Sandy and I'm not designing Julie. I'm designing someone else that has pieces of Sandy and pieces of Julie in her, but it's not going to be exactly Sandy or exactly Julie. Now, once you've gone and put together the narrative, next time you want to tease out, next step is teasing out your pain points. Okay, you're going to tease out the pain points. So she wakes up at 5:30 a.m. Okay, let's go start with that first one. She wakes up at 5:30 a.m. She's always tired and the alarm rings too soon, right? That's just typical for my audience. She showers, right? At that point, you'd want to ask yourself the question, okay, in the shower, what products does she use when she showers? Is she dissatisfied with them? What satisfies? So when I think about my showering experience, I think, okay, I use Moroccan oil in my hair. I love that. But before that, I used Pantene. I wasn't satisfied with it because it would take all the hair dye out of my hair, right? So I switched over to something non-sulfate related. You may have an audience member who, and maybe it's not relevant to you, right? If you sell body products, bath and body products, then that will be relevant to you. But if you don't sell bath and body products, it might not be, right? But for me, for example, the showering part is not relevant, but the waking up at 5:30 a.m., always tired and the alarm ringing too soon, I help you hustle proof your life. That is exactly a pain point area for me, okay? Item 3 is she gets dressed, okay? So if you sell clothes, the pain point there might be nothing fits, nothing matches, nothing's clean, clothes are older, she needs to go shopping, they don't fit right, she bought them before she had her kid, whatever it is, right? If you sell clothes, that might be an area for you to massage out and say, what is she feeling in that exact moment? Because that's the moment where she needs your help. Now, that's not the moment where she's going to actually get her phone and be like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy. But that's the moment where she feels like, oh, I really need help. Something to keep in mind, 10 hours from now, when she is sitting and cooking dinner, she's not thinking about, oh man, this is when I need some help because I'm trying to get dressed. Right now, she's thinking about dinner. When she's sitting down with her phone, drinking coffee, she's not thinking about getting dressed, right? But at that moment, you can remind her about that. You can be like, are you tired of feeling like shit every time you put your clothes on in the morning? Now she remembers that morning and she's like, oh yeah, I do hate doing that. Now you offer a solution, even though it's a little later on in the day, but you know where that pain point is. And that's why we're trying to pull these out, right? Then we put the changing the baby's diaper. That was the one that I had. Well, does she like the diapers she uses? Is she granola? Is it cloth diapers? Is it disposable diapers? Like where can you help? So depending on what it is that your business is, as you outline her day, tease out the spaces where she may be thinking about something negative that your product or service can solve. Okay. All right. So now that you've identified what she does in her day, from identifying what she does in her day, you have pulled out the key pain points, right? You pulled out the key pain points. And then the next step is, where does your product fit in as a solution? So remember we talked about earlier, let's say you sell hair products and you sell all natural hair products that last 3 times as long as the regular stuff as store-bought brands, and they don't take the hair dye out, right? So in the shower, her pain points could be any one of the following. One, it could be how often she has to replace her shampoo and conditioner because she has to use so much of it for it to work, which is such a hassle, right? So later on you'd be like, isn't it a hassle to constantly have to replace your shampoo and conditioner? How much she spends on shampoo. She's like, oh my God, I'm spending a fortune. There's like, look at all these. There's a million things on my, and I don't use any of them, right? And we've all been there, right? The products don't give her the results she's looking for. Remember we were talking about Pantene. It was cleaning my hair, but it was pulling my hair dye out, not the solution I was looking for. Or I forgot to buy a replacement product, right? That's another hassle. It's like, oh my God, I'm almost out. And now, we've all done it where we've gotten out of the shower all wet and cold, being like, oh my God, do I have any shampoo or conditioner? It's awful, right? Those are all pain points for your audience. By the way, if you have a subscription service, then that's the solution, right? You never have to worry again about replacing it. The next step is to write a short 100 to 150 word narrative that basically just describes, this is my customer, this is their problem, and this is how my product solves their problem, and share that in the group. We can take that now and we're going to build the rest of your marketing strategy on top of that statement. So go ahead, share that in the group, and let's see what you've got.